All right, so in light of some recent comments by, the Hall of Famer Gary Payton, I decided to do a video because, Gary Payton, he stated in this interview, he said that because Jason Kidd, he's going to the Hall of Fame, getting enshrined in the Hall of Fame class 2018. He said, people don't know Jay was the first LeBron when it came to attention surrounding one player coming out of high school. I agree with that statement because I don't think a lot of people understand that the hype surrounding Jason Kidd in the 1990s. If you guys don't know, Gary Payton, he played in the same areas in Oakland as Jason Kidd growing up. He was slightly older than Jason Kidd, but Gary's dad actually ended up coaching Jason for a little bit. So these two know each other for quite a while now, even before the NBA. And let me just say this, Jason Kidd, man, he wasn't just a hype train. He ended up fulfilling on that hype. He wasn't a number one pick like LeBron, but he was close. He was number two pick by Dallas Mavericks, and he took the league by storm, man. Like, I don't think people understand. J Kidd came in, he was throwing down passes like, yo, there's a reason he's in rap songs and all kinds of shit. Like we all know about, we all know about his passing ability, but I don't think people understand the hype surrounding him to take over. Like, people thought he was gonna take over leagues before he stepped into college. Before he went to college, they assumed he was gonna take that over. He did. Then he went to the NBA. They assumed he was gonna take that over. To a lesser extent, yeah, he did. So the LeBron hype terms of attention surrounding one high school player. This is probably the first time this happened because, he said Gary Payton says later on in that interview that in that area of the Bay, between Joe Montana and Jason Kidd, that's all that was being talked about. So no, he has some credibility with that statement. But we're gonna go through Jason Kidd's NBA stuff, and we're gonna validate that even more. Because if we look at his first year, right? By the way, he was taking one pick before his co-rookie of the year winner, Grant Hill. He was taking number 2 spot. Grant Hill was taking number 3. Those two, man, so nasty, so nasty. The kind of impact that J Kidd had in the league, Grant Hill probably could have had as well if he stayed healthy. Nasty small forward. But back to Kidd. This man in his first year, he led the Mavericks. Yeah, they had 2 other players there, Jim Jackson and Jamal Mashburn. But he led them. He was their point guard. He led them from 13-69 to 36-46. Do you understand that is 23 games? 23 games in an 82-game season. That is improvement right there. That is transformative, right? That's what he means by LeBron. It's not just the hype, but it's also the transforming of a team right then and there. LeBron is known for being great on the team to the point where he can improve them to get them to a winning level, but not win championships immediately. He's shown that he can't really close the deal on a consistent basis. But we look at Jason Kidd, man. We look at his next little stint, because when he got traded to Phoenix, he improved their record by 16 games. They formed the backcourt. My man Penny Hardaway. They call that shit backcourt 2000. That's a 2000 head ass name right there. But in all seriousness, that backcourt would have been extremely nasty, but a lot of injury problems. Not just from Penny Hardaway, but also J Kidd himself. He broke his ankle later on in the regular season. But in Phoenix, that motherfucker was running small ball lineups, yo. Yo, I don't think people understand how difficult it is to run a small ball lineup with everybody like 6'4", 6'5", and under. Except for Antonio Miggity McDice. If you look at the Detroit Pistons, if you ever seen them games, I don't know if y'all seen them games, probably a little too old for some of you. But you look at the small ball lineups he used to run with KJ, Rex Chapman, Steve Nash, and him. That's 4 guards. And they won 56 games, I believe. 56 games, I believe. Yeah. Shit, come on, man. Like, dude, this dude was transformative. Like, if you looked at his Nets run, this was like the final piece to show that yes, this dude is for real. Like the Nets, that was like I was very surprised that year in 01-02 when he came second MVP. That was surprising, man, because Tim Duncan had a great year as well, but this dude took the Nets from being a trash squad to the finals immediately. If you look, because he got traded for Stephon Marbury and quite a few other cats, and this is a perfect example of somebody being a street baller and they got all kinds of moves and the athleticism, but they just don't have the IQ. they can't see the game in slow motion and, you know, make their teammates better, right? So if you look at what Jason Kidd did, this was truly LeBron-esque right here. This motherfucker brought he brought the Nets to the finals from a year where the Nets finished what? I believe the Nets won like somewhere in the 30s. I believe Nets, they finished with a 52 game record, but they improved by 26 games from the previous year. Like, what the fuck? This man, everywhere he goes, he lifts teams by almost, you know, 20 something games immediately. Like, what the fuck? That's 2K right there, yo. You pick him up. Yeah, he couldn't shoot much, but you pick him up because some way, somehow, they're winning. They didn't win championships. Now, you know, you had the squad with Kerry Kittles, Kmart, you know, a couple other players. That New Jersey Nets team, that was a very good defensive team, but he used to push the pace and he used to run. He used to toss alleys off the backboard. Kmart ripping the rim and shit, man, slapping the backboard, all kinds of crazy stuff. But nah, man, Jason Kidd, that run right there, because the next year he brought them back to the finals. I mean, the second year, the first year he lost to the Lakers. They got their ass whipped pretty bad. It wasn't close, you know. But the next year, they actually took the San Antonio Spurs 6 games. And there was actually a lot of hype going on that summer. Everybody was wondering whether or not, you know, Jason Kidd was actually gonna join the San Antonio Spurs right after he lost to them. And I think if he was in today's NBA, he probably would. And I wouldn't blame him. You know, why do I say that? Because in this day and age where you're being judged so much based off of your rings and how much you're able to accomplish, especially because there's more player movement than there was back then, he definitely probably would have gone. And I don't blame him, man. If you do what you got to do for yourself, he would have gone. But he stayed in New Jersey. And he signed a 6-year, $99 million contract with New Jersey Nets. But later on, 2011, he would finally get that elusive ring. You know, beat LeBron, beat Wade, beat him in 6. He played a very pivotal role in that championship team that was being led by Dirk Nowitzki. Hey, by the way, that Dirk run is very underrated. They took out Kobe and the Lakers in 4, gave him a gentleman's sweep. They took out Durant. Now Durant and them were babies, you know, very young, but they took him out in 5. And then for the Heat, they took out Wade and LeBron in their primes in 6. So that Mavericks run, that's very underrated. You know, media doesn't really want you to remember that run, but that was a very underrated finals run. That was legendary. But if we look at his New York Knicks shit, right? Look at his New York Knicks stuff. We see that this dude is just elite. That's when Carmelo had his best years, by the way. Carmelo had his best years, you know, as a total player and winner when he played for the Knicks that year when Jason Kidd came and they set all kinds of offensive records, and I believe they went to the second round and they got eliminated by the Pacers. But that just goes to show you, man, Jason Kidd, he can take anybody and make them look like, boy, make them like they're an ISO specialist, man, giving them behind the back passes on the way to the rim. Got all kinds of cats looking like finishers. Nah, but the reason I say he's most like LeBron, you know, he's the first LeBron, is because he was the first player to have so much hype around him and not necessarily live all the way up to it. However, you know, he's very transformative. He'll turn your team into a 50-win team immediately. You know, he'll get you there. He'll get you to the finals. He won't win it guaranteed for you, shown by his one finals victory, 1 out of 3, which is actually it's actually kind of crazy. It's at the same rate of what LeBron's at, which is 3 out of 9. So these two are more alike in more ways than not, Jason Kidd and LeBron. So I think a lot of people got to understand that Jason Kidd, the mark that he left on the game, is definitely one to show you that you do not need to be a super great scorer to leave your mark on the league and to be an effective player. However, we did see that there was a lot of hype surrounding him that he wasn't able necessarily to live up to the fullest, but he had a great career. Same as how LeBron's gonna have a great career, but we got to stop calling this man Jordan. You know, he's not Jordan. He never be. So as soon as we stop calling him that, then we can start really appreciating his greatness. But all right, that was it for now. We're gonna come back with another video. I'm gonna doing a video on something that Gilbert Arenas actually commented on my IG page. We're gonna do a video on that. It's about, you know, which one of these players can get you 50. But I'll put that up a little later. All right.